amigos emprendedores de la red iberoamericana. Mi nombre es Daniela Rendón, saludándolos de la Ciudad de México. Represento a GCS Protección y Beneficio Familiar, Sociedad Cooperativa de Consumo. En GCS COP, nuestro compromiso es con la seguridad social, el desarrollo profesional y económico de todos nuestros socios, a través de un modelo de publicidad y promoción digital formado por un equipo de emprendedores que buscamos maximizar la comercialización de nuestros productos y servicios. Adicionalmente, generamos ingresos fijos y crecientes con la incorporación de nuevos socios comerciales a la cooperativa. Contamos con una revista digital con emisión mensual que incluye un directorio comercial clasificado por las actividades económicas de los socios, así como artículos de interés, entrevistas, videos y promociones que los socios deseen publicar, logrando crear sinergia comercial dentro de la cooperativa.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. If you agree, let's start with the closing session of GCEF 2021. Very symbolic for all the attendees. And I wish to introduce Jose Luis Rodriguez from León, the Labor Secretary and Promotion of Employment in Mexico City, and member of the Secretary of GCEF 2021. And also with us, the General Director for Latin America and the Caribbean of the Espartasen, the German Foundation, Violeta Abreu, Institutional Strategy Coordination of the Ministry of Wellbeing. Thank you very much. And of course, with us, Juan Manuel Martinez, General Director of the National Institute of Social Economy and Chairman of the Organizing Committee of the Global Forum of Social Economy 2021, General Director for Latin America and the Caribbean of the German Chamber. Thank you. To all of them, a big round of applause. And we're all set to go. If you all agree, we shall give the floor to each one of you and convey a short message. Gerd Beisbach is here with us. Yes, he is here. Sir, you have the floor and welcome. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you to Juan Manuel and all of you that have participated at this very important event. It's been very successful, creating awareness to the population on social economy. Truly, it's been a great honor to participate because what are we doing in the end? Well, we have to create an atmosphere or an environment which is a fruitful one, a favorable one. And for that purpose, for social economy to grow, and this is why we need the local governments. The local governments have many opportunities of promoting this formula. It's a formula that has already existed for decades. They've been working on this, but of course we do need these people that not only work at a business level to help each other personally, but also all economic activity have a social sense. So not only do we need the legal aspect of the environment, as we said, for these projects to take place, but also the possibilities of funding. Funding, of course, we can include donations from the social banking system, the development banking system, which we have in many countries, to create a fair and equitable society. And for this purpose, we have to promote social economy through the popular financial sector as a social mandate. We have to do with what we have with the current economy that we're working with. We have to create or sensitize the stakeholders. We have to educate the new generations for, they know the typical styles of the economy found in books, but also the social part should also be part of these activities. because the financial institutions, especially, we have to bring together profitability with social mandate. Not only a financial institution is to obtain yield for few people, it's a social mandate, and it's not a limited sector. We're talking of a large sector. Merely promoting the cows, we say in Germany, the idea is to minimize the efforts. It means that we have to search for efficiency to maximize, not the profitable margin, but rather the benefit in the region. We should not maximize profitability of the financial institution. No, it's for the benefit in the region you're working. For example, in Germany, we have, for example, a branch of a co-op, although it's not profitable, but if I remove this branch in this area, it'll be a negative effect, and it'll be a strong negative effect. So how do we work? The idea is this social financial sector is in the region for the region. We have to promote the economy and the financial rural institutions also at a local level, not the large institutions. The small ones should concentrate in their own locations, will develop positive development. It should not be compared with others. No, they have to compare themselves at an international level to search for efficiency. And this is how we can be competitive. At present, the social banking system in Germany, we're talking about 350 banks with 16,000 branches. We convey service to 50% of Germany. If you know a German, half of the people have one of these banks. It means that half of the Germans are with that savings institution. If we include our friends from the co-ops, we're talking of 75% of the financial services that we provide in Germany come from institutions with a social mandate to create definitely a more social community. Their gains, for example, in the last year, these financial institutions as a whole have invested in subsidies, supports, in other words, over 450,000 euros, 450 million euros. Of course, it's a big amount, and this merely to promote social inclusion. 500 million euros to promote this in Germany. Of course, it's a good effect. We do not pay dividends to the few owners. No, this is social economy. And this is why it's possible to include social economy in the banking system in all the financial sectors. And this is important to be done. And profitability and the social mandate are not two topics that cannot come together. Rather, we have to bring them together because it's extremely important. Now, an example, at present, the Mexican government is promoting dual training. What does it mean? We are including more people, young people that maybe did not have the resources to be educated, but the capabilities were there. They can start studying and working for a 2-3 year period. They receive a wage, and of course, they can get good job positions in their financial institution. 90% of the 250,000 people working in the bank institutions in Germany come from this dual education. We're not only including those that have the possibility of sending their children to school. No, we include everyone, from the president of the savings institutions has this dual formation. The director of our foundation in German has this dual formation, and I come from this dual training. And it's possible. Therefore, it's one of the paths where we can include social economy and financial inclusion. In the end, we say that at the end of social inclusion, of course, that's the main goal in our group. And what we wish to do is together with our allies and at a world level, we can say now that this international consultant, we coordinate with the government, with INAES, the G7, to share this vision of social economy, because not everybody works on Wall Street. We have to work on Main Street, where we find ourselves, the normal, just the usual street out in the town. Wall Street generates a greater amount of issues. Who saves the economy during a crisis? It's the small institutions, the cooperatives, and financial institutions. So trust them. We have strong regulations in Mexico, and we are promoting and sharing these ideas with you in Latin America, in 12 countries, with over 120 advisors. We're at your service. And all of this is possible thanks to the support of the German government, and with their social vision. It helps us with funds, and here we're sharing this with you with the G7. We're struggling for the well-being thinking of people, rural people, and social economy. Therefore, thank you all. Thank you, G7, for having created such an important and powerful platform. And we can guarantee that we shall continue struggling with you. Thank you very much. And thank you. Thank you so much, Gerd Weisbach. We now give the floor to Isabel Sandron, the Director of Montevideo Rural. Good afternoon, good evening. I imagine that many of you are, it's late evening. First of all, I wish to thank Mexico City and to those that organized this forum, because it's definitely hugged us throughout these 5 days, and we have felt very comfortable. Thank you, because we will take you in our hearts. We have shared 5 days of experiences, of work presentations, but I believe that the most important thing that we have shared throughout these days have been on thinking, feeling, dreaming, and the deep conviction of the path that we're developing and the path that we shall continue building. Each intervention is supported and sustained by thousands and hundreds of human beings that dream and build, that place at the center of the economy, production and the reproduction of life, and not the production and reproduction of capital. They dream with another world which is possible. The crisis that was quite clear during this pandemic, or syndemic, as many of us say, demands from us the deconstruction of the hegemonic paradigms which left us behind nature and life's principles. In this forum, it was well said that without a planet, there's no possible life, neither economy. We have to build other paradigms. Is it possible to continue working about development and growth? Should we deeply start analyzing these concepts and to start talking about sustainability and life reproduction? History calls upon us, and the future generations wishes us to build other values and principles, other practices, other ethics, as well as other institutions to build from a local level, from the territories within diverse multicultural processes, remembering that we're always part of nature and not their patriarch, excuse me. For Montevideo, in a city since 1992, defined in its strategic guidelines to walk towards a construction of agroecological subjects or issues. from the south of Latin America. We say Montevideo from the deep south also exists. Here we wish to convey our commitment to work together for our peoples amongst all of us to build a world which is possible for it to be fair and equitable. Thank you. Now the message of Morgan Newton, Deputy Director of the International Labor Organization, ILO.
I want to thank the Global Social Economy Forum and the local organizing committee of GSEF 2021 in Mexico for inviting the ILO to participate in this closing session. Durante 5 días, el foro ha reunido decisores políticos, expertos,
They have gathered experts, academics, and members of social economy from all over the world that have spoken about experiences that are being developed throughout the topic of local governments and social economy, the co-creation of pathways towards inclusive green economy. With regards to the objectives, are relevant topics for the labor, for the ILO, also alternatives with regards on how to achieve the development goals to social economy and also the identification of past pathways in social economy, which will allow to face the economic and social crises that we're going through. As a matter of fact, we are going through one of the worst crises in human recent history, generated by COVID-19. The pandemic has caused a disruption never seen before, without concerted measures, with deep scars at a social and labor aspect. All countries have suffered a pronounced deterioration of employment, of national income, which of course have accentuated inequalities, with the risk to damage the workers and enterprises in a long-lasting manner. Repercussions have exacerbated the prior labor deficits and social inequalities. Informal companies are the ones that are facing a precarious situation due to their lack of capability of having access to public aid related to COVID-19 or to the formal credit lines. Informal workers have been affected in a disproportionate manner because of the crises.
2,000 million workers and 6.1% of the workforce at the world level were informal workers in 2019. The consequences of the crisis over work markets have brought consequences that are devastating consequences for everyone, mostly for the youth and women, people that have been the most affected by it. This is the moment to place individuals in the center of recovery policy making, just as we were able to see it in the Agenda 2030. In the world calling to action for recovery centered on the human being of the International Conference of Labor dated June 2021. Just that declaration states the center of the direction for the OIT for the future of work, of the ILO for the ILO for the future of work. We have to place the future of the workers and their needs and their aspirations and the rights of all individuals in the center of environmental, social, and economic policy making. The Declaration for the Future of Work makes reference to the need of supporting the private sector, mention particularly the social economy as a main source of growth and the creation of employment. In March 2021, the Administration Council for the ILO decided to include in the order of the day of the International Labor Conference in 2022 an item related with the social and solidarity economy towards a future of work centered on a human being for a general discussion. There's a great number of acknowledgements that internationally speaking, regional speaking, national speaking, local speaking, and ESS has had during the past few years. This acknowledgement, it's not something that happens by chance. During the health crisis generated by the COVID-19 world pandemic, companies have demonstrated their resilience and their adaptive capacities, responding to the needs generated by the crisis. The experience that has been gathered and diffused by the ILO since 2010 through different international events, annual events dedicated to the SSE investigation, and different surveys show that companies that are SSE companies promote the entry to the work market, creating quality employment, just like the 2030 agenda reminds us of. So people need to innovate. The actual crisis has brought forward this need. So we have productive models complementary levers such as SSE that are able to show different dimensions for the lives of people. So we see enormous potential to contribute towards the development that will not leave those individuals that are in favor societies behind, like informal workers, women, and the youth. In this sense, the ILO considers that it's of utmost importance in the Social Economy Global Forum, which is a global network that has a presence in 5 continents. This 2021 forum that has been organized with the support of the National Institute for Social Economy in Mexico. It is a space for vision exchange, experience exchange, and methodology exchange within the framework of the social and solidarity economy creating results. We are confident that will contribute to the discussion in June 2022 during the International Labor Conference and the next ILO Academy over SSE, which will be virtual from November 15 and 20 to 26 under the title Better Rebuilding the Role of Social and Solidarity Economy for a Recovery Centered on the Human Being and Sensitive to the Planet. Thank you once again for inviting me. This is the moment to listen to Pierre Unique, who is the mayor of Bordeaux, which is the city of presidential, the city presiding Giuseppe.
Madame la maire de Mexico,
Señoras y señores,
Claudia Sheinbaum, mesdames et messieurs, je tiens tout.
This forum in 2021 and under the conditions that we have found difficult with the teams of the social and solidarity economy, and I take this promise first towards an economy that is inclusive and that shows us the challenges for the solidarity economy. This is a great moment before
de grands défis.
the moment in which we'll be able to reveal the great challenges. And the International Commission, which has been launched before the UN,
Aux objectifs de développement
seeking the objectives for durable development. The 30th session of the International Labour Conference will be dedicated to the contribution of the
présentera son plan d'action
SSE, and the European Union will show its efforts in favor of SSE. So next, we shall see you in 2023 in Dakar in the International Forum, which is going to be in the hands of Mrs. Mayor of Dakar. On behalf of the city of Bordeaux and all the governments of the social and solidarity economy, in the framework of this forum, you can count on our commitment to continue and our desire to intensify our actions in the promotion for the social and solidarity economy development. And I thank you. Thank you so much. And I'd like to hear Fadlan Kalaidnaidu, who's the Secretary for the Economic Development for Mexico City, Med for Technical Secretary for the G7 2021. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to everyone. My apologies for the delay. I come from the area of Xochimilco. I'm from an inauguration of a culinary fair. We're reactivating the economy of Mexico City. So I'd like to once again thank you to all those individuals that have participated in the organization of G7 2021, while underscoring that an economy that excludes, it's something that is not of our interest. An economy that's generating poverty is out of our interest. An economy that divides an important component of the population, it's an economic construction that it's outside the scope of the objectives of the government of Mexico City, the government of the President Lopez Obrador, Ms. Sheinbaum, and everyone that participates in this transformation movement for our country. We would like to build an economy that includes everyone. We want to build an economy that comes from the roots of the economy of the city, from Tláhuac, Vilpalta, from Xochimilco, from those small financial units, economic units where we see a family working, a society working, a society that includes friends, maybe a small manufacturing activity, an economic society where these small economic units participate in the generation of wealth and the good distribution of it. So that's why it's so important to see that, to have events like G7 2021, which is an economy, a solidarity economy where we can all fit and grow. It's something that it's not pre-established. It's something that we all have to build. It's something where we should all participate. Therefore, the government of the city is working towards the building of from an economy, from the microenvironment, from a neighborhood, from a unit, from a territory, and parting from there, generating economic synergy that unites the entire city and the entire metropolitan area. That's our goal. From credit support, from the authorities, and from the training process, from the inclusion process, from financial equality that will allow to develop the economy that we all want so we can grow and we can all generate wealth and we can all participate of it. So I commend those that have collaborated with us from an international environment, the federal government, INAIS, from the Ministry of Well-being, and those that participating in this international event internationally. So we can provide new ways of development, and we can implement those mechanisms that are not pre-established mechanisms. They don't follow a methodology, but are the building of an economic system, and which is something that we should all participate in, from the private sector and from the local authorities and from organizations, companies and local companies. And it is this collective effort what's going to allow building of an economy that's different as opposed to what we have experienced in the past years that won't generate poverty, inequality, and that mostly includes those individuals that have felt the brunt of an exclusive policy that fortunately is disappearing from Mexico. Thank you very much. Now we're going to hear Violeta Abreu, Coordinator for Institutional Strategies, Fourth Secretary of Wellbeing. Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. Good evening. Those that are connected from social media, it is a pleasure to come together. Moments such as this one, I believe, are the most satisfactory moments for those of us who are before from our desk now in the government, from the territory based on the government headed by Mr. Lopez Obrador, from the Secretary of Wellbeing, along with my colleague Juan Manuel, we have added efforts that we see consolidated in a moment such as this one. The INAI, it promotes, the INAI organizes, makes individuals aware, citizens aware through organizations such as cooperatives, so we can see a generation of social economy. From the Secretary of Wellbeing, we have the actual leading role in policy, in social and public policy. And one of the two most important programs that we have here that are related to these 5 days, it's a microcredit program that seeks to support economically those citizens that have small initiatives in their territories with the purpose of them consolidating and move forward. This microcredit program generates awareness, creates awareness, financial, economic awareness, and social awareness. It does possess the monthly support of an amount that they must return so we can have a larger economy that can, and those funds can be provided to someone else. And the program that we have from the government of Mexico, which is called Planting Life. It's not only a program that seeks to support farmers that have the least resources in our countries, but it seeks to generate awareness, environmental awareness. We are planting more than 1 million hectares in our country, and we are building awareness within the farmers community so they can go back to their lands, to their territories, so they can start planting while looking for the possibility of adding value to the generation of an economy that we have been speaking of during these 5 days. Anything we have learned from these 5 days has been an enriching possibility and opportunity from parting from all the latitudes in the country and the contributions from other participants. And we are happy and pleased to see there are coincidences to visualize those individuals that never provided support. There are coincidences that is through the individual and not through an economy per se, this world is going to be able to move forward. So we, from our standpoint at the government of Mexico City, we want to fight more than 70 years of economic policies that have brought us to a meltdown, to poverty in our population. Thanks to all of you that have connected. Thank you for the opportunity you have given us to demonstrate through this wonderful place, through this José Luis Cueva Museum. Hopefully you'll have the opportunity to visit us. Those that were not here in person, Mexico, it's your home. The Mexican government, it's in the best disposal to keep on collaborating through different organizations that were added through GCEF. And we wish you a great success in the next session 2 years from now. And thank you so much. And we're pleased to host you. Good evening and good afternoon. Thank you. Now it is Lawrence Work Secretary, General Secretary for Global Forum for Social Economy, GSA. Good morning, good afternoon from Seoul, Korea. I am Laura Suave, Secretary of GSEF. Today is the closing day for our forum 2021. Thank you for being here during the closing of GSEF 2021. On one side, during the past 3 years, especially this 2020 till this year that began due to the pandemic caused by COVID-19, it's like a large tunnel with no light at the end. So these types that began with uncertainty and frustration. When we began the preparation of this forum, time went by at a speedy pace in a very confusing moment. But today is the last day. I don't know how you have experienced this forum, but it was completely different as opposed to the other fora. In previous years, fora that were in person. So every day was a series of miracles, such as wonders and unexpected gifts. Since we are tired of video conferences, we work together every day with passion and expectation more than ever, without knowing where we're heading, with new challenges that we are facing in our path. So we were able to experience this 5-day week as a daily gift to discover passions, experiences, and wisdom from stakeholders participating in social and solidarity economy. Also, officers and elected leaders of local governments. It was precious time that cannot be returned. It was a moment where we were able to rediscover how we are experimenting a collective impact as having an impact one on the other through different meetings such as this forum. Last year, we were able to organize a virtual forum, like a special encounter before the context of the pandemic COVID-19. This year, we were able to draft a new chapter in the history of GSEF, organizing the forum in hybrid format with 51 sessions in 4 languages. More than 150 panelists and 26 countries met precisely at José Luis Cuevas Museum in the Historical Center in Mexico City, along with many, many other individuals. Since 1:30 in the morning until 6:30 in the evening in Mexican time, but from 3:30 p.m. all the way to 8:30 in the morning in Seoul, almost 20 hours during these 5 days. Our forum has not slept. It is GSEF record and it should be a world record. A nice round of applause to all of the participants. We are closing with this closing of the forum, but we shall continue our journey beyond 2021. And GSEF 2023 awaits us. in the General Assembly for GCEF October 5th in the city of Dakar, which was chosen as the new host city for the 6th edition of the forum for the first time in Africa. GCEF will be inviting all the stakeholders of the social and solidarity economy, all local governments, all of you, to this roundtable. And we sincerely hope we can greet each other with no masks at the time. I close with extending my gratitude to all the guests, presenters, virtual presenters, in-person presenters, in a very particular way to the team of the government of Mexico City, the team of INAES, particularly Mr. Juan Manuel Martinez Rubier, the General Director of the National Institute for Social Economy, his team with Humberto and Berenice, all members of the Technical Secretariat and the Organizing Committee, who I cannot name due to lack of time. Thank you so much for your excellent work. Thank you to all for your work and incredible passion, dedication, and unflinching determination for making this forum a miracle. On behalf of GCEF, I congratulate you for making history out of GCEF Forum, a global celebration of all the stakeholders of social and solidarity economy. They continue building together through a plan in favor of a sustainable, inclusive, and fair and green world. We came to this forum with the desire to create a more inclusive and more green world while establishing alliances. Now we know that we are united by our values and commitments, common commitments that we shall continue in everything we do and will act accordingly to build a different world. Thank you once again. Good health. Greetings until we reconvene again in the next forum, GCEF 2023 in Dakar, Senegal, in Africa. Thank you. Nice round of applause all the way to Seoul. And we close by asking for the message from the National Institute, the Director of the National Institute for Social Economy, and for the organizer of the GCEF 2021, Mr. Juan Manuel Martinez. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. I have been thinking, what do you say during the last few minutes of this act of having having the responsibility during the past few minutes as organizers of the GCEF 2020 and 21. Maybe I can talk about the few minutes when that was launched. That was 3 years ago in the city of Bilbao, when there were many individuals and were officially, and through the letter that Dr. Sheinbaum had sent requesting the venue. And it was my honor, an honor to get that confirmation. To remember, because it had happened a few weeks ago. Apparently, Mr. Guillermo del Toro, the director, had got to the Golden Globe, and someone asked him how he was able to come up with monster movies with shades, with strange, scary images, and how come he could bring it, he could consolidate it with poetry, with beauty, with depth, with humanity that his movies bring to us. I don't know if you saw that chapter or that episode, but maybe you remember the answer, the director's answer. He said, we do that because we're Mexican. I'm Mexican. We do that because I'm Mexican. End of story. I had never imagined that shades of humanity, complexities of humanity, the complexity of being part of the biology, how this could reach us in a way by 2020 and still remain here. New virus has generated a new disease that unfortunately has caused plenty of pain and suffering and plenty of deaths all around the planet. I would have never imagined that we would get to 2020, 2021, facing a situation, a humanitarian situation, just as we see it. And with those complexities attached, those paradoxes, access to vaccines, access to medical services, showing that in a great way, the comorbidities have to do with the bad nutrition that is linked to a bad distribution system of food, et cetera, et cetera. All the items that I think that we have brought into to the light here at the forums. Nevertheless, we have poetry, we have beauty, and we have that humanity that has been present from the first moment that we launched virtually 2020, and now that we were able to have the privilege to be together, these hundreds of individuals here in person, together with all the individuals that have joined virtually. And yes, I believe that we have seen the creation of a testimony that beyond the GSEF, the social and solidary economy all over and the world creates poetry, beauty, and a great hope in humanity. And that excites me. And I look forward to see this recorded for the benefit of the youth in the future, so they can actually envision a humanity that it's deeper and aware. Just as Secretary said, we can have a new economy that can include and not generate poverty while rejecting the different ways, such as wealth generation. I hope all of this is registered here. And thinking about what I should say now, of course, I was thinking about if I was able to take the first moment, I can say what was present all through the conference, which is extend my gratitude, my sincere gratitude to all those individuals that participated in the generation of this forum. Like I said it in the morning, thank you, Laurence, and thank you to the team in Korea, kamsahamnida. That's the only word I know in Korea because I don't want another one to know, but I want to know others, but today that's the one that's useful. Even if I knew others, I would just say that. Thank you for your creativity, your support, your solidarity from the creation of the GSEF with Alcala Park. Thank you so much to you. Thank you to the government of Mexico City, its institutions for being here and for organizing us through thank you. I'd like to extend my gratitude to the team from the National Institute of Social Economy. I usually get everything, but I want to thank them because they have been in all kinds of meetings, sometimes against a lot, when on their favor. I'd like to thank Mariana, Alberto, the whole team, and all of them that have been here, just as Laurence said. So we were able to have this record of having these days that seem to be endless, but now apparently we have a huge amount of content regarding social and solidarity economy. Thank you to the federal government, the Department of Well-being, and to all of our allies and partners. Thank you, Gerd. Thank you, because the foundation, Cajas Alemanas Foundation, has been great support. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. your support in the programs, your vision, and your. I like to say always that Germans realize that finances are so important, and you just have to leave a little bit of them to the private sector, and the social has to prevail over the private sector, and that's how Germany lives. Besides the technical items and pragmatic items we have developed. Thank you to our allies. Thank you all for coming here, that you were sitting there in those chairs that have been here since Monday. Thank you, particularly those that made huge efforts to be here. We have people from Bolivia. I don't want to exclude anybody. I'd like to thank everyone in these 5 days where we have 55 sessions, where the organizing group, where the proposals were, they made us to have 307 panelists of 53 countries. So I think that the global scope of the forum was rather clear. We had 48 panelists right here in person. Thank you so much.
Over 1,500 people registered on the page. Allegedly, they were live, connected from different parts of the world. 120 countries, to be more specific, with the latest data provided. 120 countries that registered and were present at these virtual meetings. 115 people registered. Thank you so much for being here. And 115 from different countries, Bolivia, and I apologize the other countries I didn't mention, from the Basque Country, Dubai. Thank you so much for having been here. So these are the preliminary results. Hence, we trust that through social networks and videos seen, we will achieve the goal of what happened the prior year, which were over 1,200,000 interactions on social networks. I believe that this year maybe we'll overcome that goal. This happens later on. Again, thank you very much. I wish to leave with a thought. Please apologize. It'll be handling of the language, risking something in the interpreters. It's a big challenge. If you do not understand me, I apologize. I hope we won't change the world. I hope we won't change the world. The individualistic world, competitive, macho, lineal. What if we transform and contribute towards the reconstruction of planet Earth, solidarity in the world, cooperative that comes together and sees the future differently? And I refer to this because that lineal, macho, individualist, and competitive world is even thinking about a world where it doesn't need of the world any longer. Paradoxically, during this pandemic, where we see much human needs, two men decide to leave planet Earth, and to think that planet Earth is feasible beyond the world with everything that they've extracted from the world. And it seems to me that what COVID-19 is saying, that from a biological perspective, we're rooted into the earth. And it's in the earth where we can reconstruct it, reconstruct everything all over again. Yes, of course, a solidarity, non-competitive, a world, and of course, quite feminine, feminine in women and in men as well. The world that has a circular gaze, that knows that everything comes back. Hence, we have to take care of it. And hopefully, social and solidarity economy will be able to contribute towards the reconstruction of planet Earth. And hopefully, we'll be able to see each other again in the reconstruction of planet Earth, so that future generations will be able to say, how strange those 2020, 21 with their masks on, and how strange they couldn't solve technical issues when they had so many scientific and communicational tools. How strange they weren't so generous as we are. How strange that they didn't feed themselves properly as we do, and how strange that species disappeared in comparison to what we're doing today. And hopefully the future, which surely will be better, will reach us soon. I'm sure that what you have done throughout these 5 days will help out towards the seeds that will regenerate the earth. So thank you all. And with this, these are our closing words. And I'm glad that we go back to the origins of humanity. We return to Africa for the next event of the G7. I wish you well. We are here in Mexico to collaborate with whatever we can help. And once again, thank you to the organization of G7. If I left somebody out, I apologize. I'm quite emotional. So once again, thank you very much. And today, please, the audience, if you could stand up, please, a photo before the closing words.
Regalarnos una gran sonrisa, por favor.
A big smile. Thank you. Together with Lawrence, that's here with us virtually. A picture. Thank you. And now, if we could all stand up, the official closing of G7 2021. This is a very emotional moment. It's 1 minute that it's October the 8th, 2021. It's 10:37, Mexico City, and the conversion of time schedule throughout the world. We close this forum on social economy. Thank you very much. I wish to invite the members of the head table, if they will accompany me, to please step down to take a photo with the audience.
Muchísimas gracias.
Invite the press. Thank you very much.
Si nos acompañan, por favor. En la parte de enfrente, para que nos regalen todos una fotografía, vamos a hacer.
A picture, please.
Por favor, si me regalan una fotografía, va a ser viendo hacia el público. Exacto.
Social distancing, please. Are you ready for the photo? Thank you. Everybody's present and ready. Thank you.
¿Podrían apagar la luz, por favor, que está al centro?
Switch off the lights.
Me comentan que da el reflejo en la foto. ¿Es posible apagar la luz?
There's a reflection on the photo.
Ahí va, ahí va. Van a apagar la luz. Gracias.
Ahí está. A la 1, a las 2 y a las 3. Ahora sí. Pues un aplauso fuerte para todos ustedes.
A big round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you to the authorities present here today, and great closing ceremony.
Cerrito, me siento en sus piernas.
chupado usted? Ninguna, 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 no sé. Ando en pretensiones de chuparle a usted. Cuidado con la bruja, muchachos. Yo me peleé con la bruja en el puerto de Alvarado. En el puerto de Alvarado. Yo me peleé con la bruja y mamá. Porque no quería creer lo que otros le habían contado. Lo de arriba era mujer y lo de abajo pescado. Ay, mamá. Esconde de Chiepa, esconde de Juana, que ahí anda la bruja debajo de la cama. Esconde de Chiepa, esconde de Joba, que ahí anda la bruja volando en su escoba. Ay, dígame, dígame, dígame usted, ¿cuántas criaturitas se ha chupado usted? Ninguna, 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 no sé. Ando en pretensiones de chuparle a usted.
Un aplauso fuerte.
Pero que se escuche, señores, esto es México. Y con esto vamos a dar por concluida este gran momento. Muchísimas gracias al Grupo Folclórico Xcaret. Ellos vienen desde Los Reyes La Paz, Estado de México. Agradecemos muchísimo a todos ellos, a todos los participantes. Luis Fernando, creo que también es muy importante volver a mencionar a nuestros aliados, volver a mencionar a toda la gente que está involucrada y a la que le agradecemos enormemente la realización de este evento. Capeltic, Vals in Maya, Capital 21, Sono Productions, Conedar, Care, Grupo, Cooperativa Pascual, Fundación Esparcasen, Telmex, Central de Abastos, Fundación de Apoyo a la Juventud, Alsea, McDonald's, entre algunos otros.
Pues vamos con más música al son del estado de Veracruz. Muchísimas gracias a la Secretaría de Cultura por todo el apoyo y nosotros de esta manera clausuramos el último día de actividades GISEP 2021. Un aplauso fuerte, que se escuche. Esto es México, señoras y señores.
Concurrencia que perdone mi osadía. Yo pido a la concurrencia que perdone mi osadía. Y a todos pido clemencia para mi galantería. Y a todos pido clemencia para mi galantería. Mi morena, morenita Dios adiós. Para cantar y bailar. Y vuelvo a decir adiós. Yo he dispuesto este momento, solo quiero suplicar. Dispénseme atrevimiento, la muchacha del lunar, que es también a la que adoro, no lo puedo remediar. ¡Alto la música! Yo también quiero licencia y a todos pido atención. Yo también quiero licencia y a todos pido atención. Me consume la impaciencia por dar mi contestación. Me consume la impaciencia por dar mi contestación. Mi morena, morenita Dios adiós. Miren qué casualidad. Y vuelvo a decir adiós. Me pasó lo que a Teodoro, no tengo culpa de amar. Y por eso amor imploro a la dama del lunar, que es también a la que adoro, no lo puedo remediar. ¡Alto la música! Vengo lleno de contento, contagiado de alegría. Vengo lleno de contento, contagiado de alegría. Se acabó mi sentimiento que con Pascual yo tenía. Se acabó mi sentimiento que con Pascual yo tenía. Un momento. Con gusto tiendo la mano como prueba de amistad. Con gusto tiendo la mano como prueba de amistad. Que Teodoro es un hermano al quien quiero de verdad. quiero de verdad. Mi morena, morenita diosa Dios, ya no habrá rivalidad. Y vuelvo a decir adiós. Cuando el amor se confiesa y un amigo es el rival, el vínculo es la nobleza cuando es firme la amistad. Y siendo amigo del alma terminó la enemistad.
Ay, qué bonito es bailar, el son del tilingo-lingo, pues lo pueden zapatear, tanto el chino como el gringo.
Ay, qué bonito es bailar, el son del tilingo-lingo, pues lo pueden zapatear, tanto el chino como el gringo. Repica, pica, pica, repica y repiqueteando, qué bonitas todas las que están bailando. Ay, tilín, 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 el tolón, 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 qué bonitas las hijas de Don Simón.
Hay que ponerse muy chiango para poderlo zapatear.
El tilingo es un fandango de ritmo muy singular. Hay que ponerse muy chango para poderlo zapatear. Repica, pica, pica, repica y repiqueteando. Qué bonitas todas las que están bailando. Ay, tilín, 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 el tolón, tolón, tolón. Qué bonitas las hijas de Don Simón.
Que se baila con estilo de la bamba y el danzón.
Eso del tilingo-lingo, de un ritmo sabrosón, que se baila con estilo de la bamba y el danzón. Repica, pica, pica, repica y repiqueteando, qué bonitas todas las que están bailando. Ay, tilín, 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 el tolón, 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 qué bonitas las hijas de Don Simón.
Tripa de mapache, a la tripa, tripa de mapache.
Mi mamá no quiere canelo, que yo me emborrache, y si acaso tomo canelo, que sea con tepache.
Se cayó del palo, el amigo Bolo, caramba, se cayó del palo.
Por el aire dijo, caramba, válgame San Pablo, y si no lo digo dice caramba se lo lleva el diablo.
A la tripa, tripa, retripa, tripa de cochino. A la tripa, tripa, retripa, tripa de cochino.
Mi mamá no quiere canelo, que yo tome vino. Y si acaso tomo canelo, que sea del refino.
Canelo murió, caramba, lo van a enterrar. Canelo murió, caramba, lo van a enterrar.
4 sopilotes, caramba, y un águila real. Sepultura de oro, caramba, caja de cristal.
A la tripa, tripa, retripa, tripa de venado. A la tripa, tripa, retripa, tripa de venado.
Mi mamá no quiere canelo, que coma pescado. Y si acaso como canelo, que sea de Alvarado. Y si acaso como canelo, que sea de Alvarado.
Allá va. Y se la llevó. ¡Vámonos!
Para cantar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia. Una poca de gracia y otra cosita. Y arriba, y arriba. Allá arriba, y arriba, y arriba. Y yo no soy marinero. Yo no soy marinero, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré.
Aunque soy chiquitito, de inspiración, te me canto la bamba. Te me canto la bamba de corazón, que tilín, que tilín. Que tilín, que tilín, que tilín, tilín, que repique campana.
¿De dónde?
Que repique campana de Medellín, de Medellín, de Medellín.
Qué bonita es la bamba, qué bonita es la bamba en la madrugada cuando todos la bailan. Cuando todos la bailan en la ramada y arriba y arriba. Y arriba y arriba y arriba iré, yo no soy marinero. Yo no soy marinero, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré.
A la mar que te vayas, a la mar que te vayas, iré contigo para ver cómo vences. Para ver cómo vences al enemigo allá arriba, allá arriba. Allá arriba, allá arriba, allá arriba. Era, yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Ese es mi Veracruz. Te pido de compasión que se acabe la bamba, que se acabe la bamba y venga otra zona y arriba y arriba, allá arriba y arriba y arriba iré. Yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré.
hermoso donde yo nací, no hay tierra que más valga para mí, jarabe más popular que Tapatío no lo hay, allá lo saben bailar desde que empiezan a andar. Jalisco hermoso donde yo nací, no hay tierra que más valga para mí, jarabe más popular que Tapatío no lo hay, allá lo saben bailar desde que empiezan a andar.
Pasen a tomar atole, todos los que están bailando, beban sus carritos y podrán seguir bailando. Pasen a tomar atole, todos los que están bailando, el atole está muy bueno, la tolera ya lo entró.
Mi tierra es un primor, pues cómo no lo ha de ser, si en ella está mi amor, que quiero más que ayer. Mi tierra es un primor, pues cómo no lo ha de ser, si en ella está mi amor, que quiero más que ayer. Ya acabamos de bailar el jarabe tapatío, ay, 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 ya nos vamos a sentar. Ya acabamos de bailar el jarabe tapatío, ay, 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 ya nos vamos a sentar.